talking tomatoes in the kitchen today. Joanna Coles joins me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and just visually, this is a great, just to the eye, all the different colors of the tomatoes. Looks great.
People get really excited about tomatoes, and especially home gardeners, because it's one of their most favorite vegetables to raise. If you talk to anybody about their garden, they're normally going to have a tomato in it. And so, but Tina, it's been a tough year. I mean, it's been a tough year for any of our growing plants, and tomatoes is no exception. We've had a lot of different diseases. I think we've seen every one of them in the office this year, and you know, it's just been really tough because we haven't had the water. But the good news is we do have some water now, and it's not too late. Usually we recommend don't plant any tomatoes for the fall season after July 1st unless you have some row covers or something like that. But we have moisture, and who knows what Kentucky weather will provide for us. But we have some varieties that are as low as 56 days to maturity, all the way up to like 75 days, which will get us into about September, 1st of October, and usually we don't see our first frost until after that. So you're still safe. So go out. We have some transplants. We bought this here locally, so you can go out and have the fall tomato crop as well as the spring one.
So then the very odd temperatures that we've had is actually going to work out to our favor right now at this moment.
At this moment, we've seen a lot of tomatoes that haven't ripened fully on the vine like we usually see, and that's because of the warm temperatures. Anytime the temperatures are over 90 degrees, we'll see a real pinkish or a yellow-orange color. We bring that inside and it ripens really quickly, and it's a pigment in there that 90 degrees or over, it won't allow it to turn red. And so if you saw some on the vine and this week you have all these ripe tomatoes all of a sudden, it's because the temperature went down and they were able to ripen. Now some of them are naturally pink, like this heirloom tomato. We just got these from Needmore Acre Farms. They kind of specialize in the heirloom tomatoes, and those varieties are some of our older varieties, some of our cherished varieties, but full flavor varieties, but they're naturally pink. And so a lot of times you can't go by color because we have like a smorgasbord of color here.
I was going to say, we have everything from the dark colored all the way, of course, to the green tomatoes.
Yes, and so it's kind of, there's a tomato for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever you like. My kids love the smaller tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes. They eat those like candy. And what better way to get such great nutrition into your kids? So introduce them to some of these. These are actually an heirloom variety called chocolate cherry.
Oh, see, and we can trick the kids.
Exactly. Megan and I were at the farmer's market this morning because we've got the other tomatoes from the farmer's market, and the kids were around. They were like, where are the chocolate cherries? We want those. So great marketing tool. So you want some chocolate cherries, get them some of those tomatoes because they are delicious and excellent vitamin A, vitamin C, lycopene, and we also have some beta carotene. So, and fiber. It has one small tomato has as much fiber as a whole wheat slice of bread.
Oh wow, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, and so you not only get the great flavor, but you also get a lot of nutrition as well.
And we were talking about this right before we came on. I said I just learned this, that when you're going to go pick a tomato, the consistency that you're holding onto it is you want either softer or harder depending upon what you're going to make with it.
Yes, and usually when we go to the farmer's market, we want to go and look for tomatoes that are not completely soft because they're not going to last as long. However, if you're going to make juice or something like that, then that's fine. But if you're just going to traditionally slice the tomato to put on your plate and eat for supper, then we want to go with a little bit firmer tomato. And then our Roma tomatoes, they're more pasty tomatoes, so if we want to make sauces or something like that, we want to choose those. If you want to make some salsa, the fun colors are good, the good texture, and they're quick and easy. And some of the bigger tomatoes are better slicing tomatoes to where we can have that big, nice slice of tomato on our plate.
Or like a sandwich.
That's right, or a BLT.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. And so we have all these different kinds of tomatoes, and so we're going to actually make two recipes. And which tomatoes are we going to be working with?
We're going to use the plum tomatoes in one recipe, and then we are going to use just large tomatoes in the other recipe. And just really quick, because a lot of times I come home and sliced tomatoes is the way I eat my tomatoes, but this time of year we have abundance. Let's find some different ways to use them.
That's what we're all trying to do today. All right, you guys stay with us after the break. We're going to make those two recipes for you. So break out your tomatoes and we'll help you with them. Welcome back. Now that we've already picked our tomatoes, it's now time to make them into a dish, and we're going to do two.
We are. These are really quick and easy. The chopping is the hardest part, but that's pretty simple as well. But this is a tomato and feta salad, and you can use it a variety of ways. But we have a 1/4 cup of Greek vinaigrette that we're going to pour into our bowl here, and then we have 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley that's chopped, and we're going to kind of just mix this together because this is going to be our base for this salad. And we have 6 plum tomatoes, and we talked about the plum tomatoes being kind of saucy, and so we're going to add those that are chopped. And we're just going to kind of mix this together. And you can use this, right here we have it on a bed of lettuce. You can mix it with a pasta salad like we were talking about earlier, or you can just eat this as a side dish.
Okay.
As well. This is 4 ounces of feta cheese, and we kind of crumbled that just a little bit more. A ½ cup of chopped onion. And then over there is some sliced olives, about a ½ cup of sliced olives. And Tina, if you just want to go ahead and pour those in there.
Absolutely. And the onions we used, that was a red onion, right?
That was a red onion, yes. It just gives it a little bit more punch, a little bit more flavor. And we have a nice, flavorful, colorful dish that we can serve, and that didn't take very long at all.
No, and it smells awesome.
Yes, all the flavors. And some people say, I don't know, feta, Greek, I'm not quite for sure about it. But a girl in our office doesn't even like tomatoes. And she's like, Joanna, I love that. And so try it. You might like it.
And feta and Greek right now, that's very popular. Everyone's kind of on the Greek bandwagon right now and into those dishes. So this is a very light kind of way to do it. This is easy for like a picnic, or if you're going to do like a potluck at work or
Sure, because it doesn't have any mayonnaise, so it's safe to travel. And we have some pita chips here to kind of keep with the Greek theme. You can also put them in pita pockets, just whatever you like, but a quick, healthy, easy salad using your tomatoes.
And so would you, after you make this, would you normally just refrigerate it?
We would. We would want to actually marinate it for about an hour, and that's really going to let those flavors marry. But you can keep it in your refrigerator up to 3 days.
Okay, and this is a good amount. This would feed a good amount of people. Probably 4 or more people?
Right. 4 to 6 people is what this serving, this recipe calls for as far as serving size. But very healthy, very easy.
And you can see that from that shot that you guys had, just the way it looks is, just to the eye, is great. I love all the different colors. All right, and we're going to do a second recipe as well.
Over here is some salsa. Now, a lot of times we think of salsa and we think, oh, I have to chop all those different ingredients. I don't have time for salsa. But if you need a really quick salsa recipe, this has very little chopping involved.
Okay.
And so we're going to put 3 tablespoons of olive oil in our bowl, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. And then we have 2 large tomatoes.
Okay.
Now, if you really like tomatoes, Tina, you can put more in there. But this is 2 large tomatoes. It's about 2 cups of tomatoes total. And this is 6 green onions. And this really gives it a nice flavor, a little bit of crunch as well in your salsa. And this is the tomatoes and the onions, the only chopping that you'll have to do. Everything else comes out of a can. And so we have 1 4-ounce can of chopped black olives. And people say black olives, and even my best friend gave me this recipe. And I said, black olives in a salsa recipe? But it's really good. One of those things that you need to try just to see.
You wouldn't think about it, but then once you do it, you're like, oh, I can't go
Can't go back. Can't go back. And this is 4 ounces of chopped green chilies.
Okay.
That we're going to put in there. You'll find that in the Mexican food aisle. We have a ½ teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we also have the garlic powder that we're going to put in here as well. And then we have some vinegar that we need to put in there, and I used white wine vinegar today. And you can use like a regular white vinegar to put in here. But if you don't like the taste of vinegar, you don't have to put that in there at all. You can use maybe some vinaigrette or another type of flavor that you like better.
Okay, so that's where you can kind of put your own spin on it.
You can kind of put your own spin on it. And then we just mix this up basically, and then you put it in your dish, your serving dish, with your chips, and serve it, and your salsa is ready. This is ready to serve immediately. Okay. You don't have to refrigerate it. You can, to kind of let the flavors marry. It is somewhat liquidy, but you put these on chips, and your guests are going to go crazy on it. They're going to want this recipe. And so we have these recipes available at the Extension office. For people, they can call. We can give them both of these recipes. And we also have other healthy recipes that deal with tomatoes, bruschetta, crostinis, all those different types of tomato recipes to take these plentiful tomatoes that we have right now and put them to good use.
And transform them into something. And with the salsa, if we wanted to kick it up a little bit more with the heat on it, you could do that with the green chilies, right? Just get a hotter green chili.
Yes, or you can actually chop, if you want to chop, some a hot jalapeno and put in here
as well. Perfect. So we've really simply, in less than 4 minutes, we made 2 dishes using great tomatoes.
That's right.
You always bring such great ideas for us, John. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, we have some more Midday Live right after the break, so stay with us.